I don't think that this is something new that is about tinnitus. I feel like it's new for me because I recently discovered it. When I discover something new, I like to share it with you all. So what I found out is that when your body is in a state of fight or flight, your nervous system it's going to look for threats. And if tinnitus is something that is kind of like, you sort of have like a PTSD from it. So maybe, you had an onset of it, you're bothered by it, you're on your path to habituation, but it's still kind of there and you're still kind of afraid of it. And you're still like hoping, I hope I habituate. Like, I still feel uneasy about it. But that's completely normal, by the way. That's how I felt for a long time until I just was kind of fully recovered from it. But so if you're in that stage, don't worry. It's fine. I wish I had someone to tell me that, but anyway. So when you're in that state, and say something that just can put you in anxiety. So maybe you're with a partner, a girlfriend or boyfriend that's toxic, and they like to sort of kind of make you guess what you did or something like that, and that can put you in anxiety. I'm just using that as an example. Or maybe you have a promotion coming up, or maybe your boss is mad at you, or maybe one of your kids is mad at you or something, or maybe just sort of any situation that can put you in an anxious state you're going to feel like the tinnitus is worse. And that's because when your nervous system is in fight or flight, it's looking for threats, and it's not letting you relax. Okay? And you feel like you're going to be stuck like that forever. That can be the onset of a panic attack, and a lot of other anxiety symptoms. I know this because I've had anxiety. I've had anxiety my entire life, basically. And when I got to a place where I was able to be like, oh, that's just my nervous system feeling energy, I was able to sit with it, let it pass. Now, when I was with tinnitus, like bothered by it and recovering from it, when something would trigger my anxiety, like basically trigger me to be put in fight or flight. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep. Maybe, I was fighting with people or something. People were fighting with me, or I was having some sort of discrepancy with my friend or something like that, or, just any sort of thing. Wouldn't you know it, the tinnitus felt louder. It seemed like a bigger problem, a bigger issue. That's because your nervous system is looking for threats. And what is the biggest threat that's on your mind, on your subconscious mind? That's right. The ringing in your ears, the hyperacusis, the reactive tinnitus, that sort of thing. And a lot of people I work with, they're overachievers. They are very successful people. They are very smart people. Usually people that overthink and have bothersome tinnitus are smart people. They think a lot. That could be good or bad. It can get you far in life, but it can also work as a detriment as well. And so they're people. They're not people that work with me they're not dumb by any stretch of the imagination. And one thing I know with really smart people is that they like to think their way out of their problem, because they have gotten this far in life thinking. Their intellect has made them successful. Well, when you come into something like central nervous system related anxiety, fight or flight, bothersome tinnitus, you can't think your way out of it. That just makes it worse. The only way you can escape the tinnitus loop is through surrender. Smart people don't like to surrender. Go talk to a narcissist. Tell him he needs to surrender. Yeah, right. That's that concept isn't. No, just I can do it. I can gung ho. I'm gonna think my way out. I'm gonna achieve my way out. I'm going to fix this. And I can tell you with tinnitus, hyperacusis, reactive tinnitus, you can't. You can go that way, and you're just going to suffer and spiral further in the tinnitus loop. That's just kind of how it goes. So anyway, sorry, someone's calling. So what's the cure then? What's the answer to this? The answer to this is that if you sort of had the tinnitus onset, you want to find someone that you can talk to about it, that can reassure you about it. This really helps. You want to get the myths out, and you want to get the good information in your mind. And that's why I'm here. So if you want to book a session with me, 60-minute session, I would love to work with you, and I can be that person for you. That's first and foremost. Because the reassurance is huge. Because in your mind, when you're spiraling, okay, you can think, well, wait a minute, Dan told me that it's going to be okay, and his story was pretty crazy, and so if he could do it, why can't I do it? And that is really, really powerful, because then if you believe that is your truth, that can break a mental spiral, because you can be like, this spiral that I'm in, though it seems true that I can't get better, I can't recover, I can't have a happy life, it can't be true, because there's people that are doing it. So my mind must be playing a trick on me. It really works that simple. So the more sessions you can have, the more positive information you can get in your mind, the better. I don't recommend reading tinnitus forms, because you might come across a horror story and you'll immediately apply it to your life, and that'll just make you spiral worse. Tinnitus suffering is mental. So the more positive information and positive interactions you can have, the better for your habituation and your mental health. Another thing is, if you're doing a lot, like you're a high achiever going, and tinnitus just feels like a brick wall, bam, wow, my gosh, that's kind of what it was for me. I was going, and it was just like, it's like I hit a brick wall, man, and I didn't have the capacity, to continue to produce and achieve the way I used to, at least for a little while. What you do then is you don't continue to try and punch through the brick wall. You're going to break something. That's not the right approach. You want to lighten the load. You want to take off what doesn't serve you. Maybe I need to do this. I got to launch this business. I have to do this. I have to do that. Okay. Well, maybe not right now. Maybe you need to rest a little bit more right now. And I know people in America and in Western countries are not going to want to hear this, because rest is seen as laziness. Sitting in the present moment and just allowing yourself to listen to the rainfall, that's seen as you're just being lazy. There's no concept for resting. There's no concept for healing in America. Go to your boss, tell him you have tinnitus. You think he's going to give you paid leave? Maybe, if it's a really, really progressive company and they actually give a crap about their employees. Most companies, no. They're firing everyone in America right now. The AI is replacing everything. That's a whole other video. We're not going to get into that. But the point I'm trying to say is that you're going to have to take the responsibility to provide the space for you to heal. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to practice resting. How do you do this? If you notice you're in fight or flight, your heart, and here's how you notice you're in fight or flight. Okay. Do you feel like you're not able to just be like you normally would? Like if you can normally just sit out here and drink a cup of coffee and just, life's beautiful, not really just everything's all right. And you can't do that, and you're just like, I can't really, I don't know, I can't really, I feel uneasy, then you're in fight or flight. That's a good indicator of fight or flight. Do you feel restless? Do you feel like you just got to move? Do you feel like something's on your mind? Are you trying to get back to normal? Is the tinnitus consuming your thoughts? Are you thinking about it all the time? Do you find yourself gravitating towards it? If so, then you really need to practice resting. Resting, meditation, same thing. But you really need to just sit and feel that experience, feel that energy, feel that anxiety, whatever you want to call it. Just feel it and just sit with it. And just, if your mind tells you to run or try and fix it or pick up your phone and scroll, or you just need to just sit and don't listen to your mind. Because your mind, a lot of times, when it's in fight or flight, it's in a state that isn't normally how you would think. It's a lot of times why when people are, in a very vulnerable state, they try and get them out of it, because they know any sort of action they do in that state is not going to be in their right mind. And when you're in fight or flight, that's kind of the state that you really want to just breathe, anchor yourself, notice the rain falling, notice your sensations that you're sitting here. Do progressive muscle relaxation, squeeze your fists, release, feel the energy. And after a while, you will find that you return to a grounded peace. It might take some time, and it might not be in the first session. But if you can feel that peace, if you can feel that pause, sort of that, just even if it's for a fraction of a second, that kind of has that calm in the middle of the storm, you can begin to then grow that time that you feel that. And that's called returning to presence. Because the truth is, you are designed to have a natural state. Your default state is peace. It's not anxiety. It's not fear. It's not doom. It's not any of this stuff. It's peace, right? That's where the Bible says, peace I give to you, and not like peace of the world. The peace of the world they take away, but the peace I give you, no one can take away. And that's your birthright. It's everyone's. And I don't want to get into how basically society has basically hijacked and stole that from you through social media and the 9 to 5 and work until you're 60 and never be good enough, never settle, hustle, never rest, all that stuff. It's no wonder. It's no wonder no one's happy. It's no wonder no one can rest. It's no wonder that people are suffering more with stuff like tinnitus. Because when you take rest from people, when you put people in a constant state of fight or flight, then, and your mind is always scanning for threats, it might hear the internal sounds, something like tinnitus. It's very natural. It might hear that sound and it might label it as a threat, and then that's how someone could be put into it. Usually, I've talked to a lot of people, worked with a lot of people, and their tinnitus onset came from a very stressful situation. Usually it's coupled with, well, I had a lot of stress at work, I wasn't taking good care of myself, my sleeping habits were poor, I was drinking a lot of caffeine. Did that cause it? No, the caffeine didn't damage your ears. The stress at work didn't damage your ears. It wore down your nervous system over time, and then you got to a place where your nervous system just had enough, right? And when that happens, it can, your mind can start looking for threats, and sometimes tinnitus maybe there was some sort of loud noise that you were exposed to, and that coupled with the lack of sleep and all of the other sort of unhealthy behaviors, that could be a perfect catalyst for something like bothersome tinnitus. A perfect catalyst. It's not that the coffee damaged your hearing. Coffee can't damage your hearing. Okay, so that's a myth. It's just that when you're in chronic fight or flight from stress, from years of stress, that eventually will take its toll on you. It could be an anxiety attack, it could be bothersome tinnitus or depersonalization, or maybe it could be a complete, some people, it could be a complete shutdown, But whatever it is, you can recover from it, okay? And you have to get your body out of fight or flight. You have to. You have to return to that rest. If you don't know how to do that, I would love to work with you. I can show you how to do that. Book a session below, and make sure to share this video with a friend or someone that is dealing with bothersome tinnitus or anxiety or any of that stuff. Get this treatment to people. Let them know that they're not alone. I always love reading the comments. I'll talk to you later. Peace.